Okay. Now that I have the phone right, maybe that works. But anyway, I am sitting in the car because I have a meeting to go to in a minute, and um, I hope I am in. Is not my car didn't pick up again because I don't know. We'll find out if anybody jumps on. But anyway, today is a great day. I am sitting in the car waiting for a meeting to start, and I have about 20 minutes to sit here because I got here actually extra early. And so, because I'm here, I wanted to kind of talk about my book, Breaking the Code to Business Success. It's my first book of three. I wrote a book, a workbook, and a journal. And today I'm going to talk about the book because I don't have the workbook or the journal with me. And I am excited to have you guys. So good morning, can you hear me? So if I have been sitting and just thinking that I am super excited about this. Great, thank you. My car was picking up earlier and I could not figure out how to disconnect my phone from my car to make it go to be live. So good morning, everybody. um my channel is From Rags to Riches. So the book is Breaking the Code from business success. And I'm excited about this book because it took me 5 years, 5 long years to complete it. Not because I didn't want to write it. It was more or less because I kind of kept getting sidetracked. I didn't know what I wanted to, why I was writing the book, who would I be writing the book for. But long story short, one of my great friends, I have several friends that are authors, and they came to me and it was like, sent me the link to their book, and I was like, oh my God, you finished. And I'm just sitting there like everybody is roller skating around me and just kind of doing their thing. And I have this book that's just sitting on my laptop. So I decided to go ahead and complete it. But I want to say that, God's timing is always the best timing because although I didn't know why I started writing the book, I actually do know why I'm writing the book I wrote the book at this point. This is one book of three. So I actually wrote this book and then I created a workbook for people to try to figure out why they need a business coach or not. And then while I was writing that book, I ended up writing a journal about for women as it pertains to healing their inner child. Again, my page is called From Rags to Riches. And that means I'm going to give you a little backstory. Entrepreneurship was never my first thought as a career. I actually fell into entrepreneurship by accident. I'm going to say by accident, maybe by luck. God had a plan. I don't know. But it wasn't something that I actually set out to do. And thank you for following me. I'm very appreciative to all of the new subscribers. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. But sitting here, I am waiting on a meeting and I just decided to go live. So this book is for new entrepreneurs, those that want to become entrepreneurs, that people that may be dreaming of entrepreneurship. Some may be already entrepreneurs. They may have just be scared, trying to figure out what it is that they're doing, how they're supposed to do it. They don't know how to make the next move. Scaling hasn't been very profitable for them. They are just kind of struggling trying to navigate that entrepreneur space. So that's what this book helps you do. I started out in photography. I am a mental health counselor, but that's what my background is in. I have a degree and I'm working on my PhD in counseling. But I don't work as a counselor. I am an entrepreneur. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have several behavioral health agencies, and I have a spa for little girls. And my husband and I together have a electrical company. So entrepreneurship has been a gift that God has given me in regards to starting and growing businesses. I again started with photography, and from photography came the spa. From the spa came my behavioral health company, and then after the behavioral health company came my nonprofit that goes along with my behavioral health company, and then came my husband and I's electrical company. So yeah, and all of these businesses are operable today. The last two are actually seven-figure businesses. I don't do photography anymore. I do my photography. I do my images and my content and my stuff for my businesses, but I don't actually do photography for anybody else. So if that doesn't count, so I'm gonna say I don't have the photography studio anymore. Pinkolicious is about to be shut down because I no longer have time for it. After 15 years, I have, and my daughters have fully grown, become adults, and they don't have any interest in running it either. So those two businesses were not my actual money makers. They made me probably 5 figures, high low end 6 figures, but the last two businesses was where we actually make the bulk of our money. So I talk about that in this book, and I share quite a bit. And there is just to name a few, there's prompts for you to sit and think through what it is you're dealing with. Like this prompt says, how can you build financial resilience if your initial funding plan falls short? So, and I just turned to this, and this is in the in chapter 4, and it just kind of makes you think about it. There's a mindset check-in, and it's, am I being realistic about my startup cost and funding needs? How can I be resourceful in seeking financial support? So in my first few years of business, I started all of my businesses with nothing, with my own money. So I didn't go out and get loans, and I didn't go out and start with banks and things of that nature. And because of my background, I did not have people around me that could help me figure this out. I didn't know anything about growth groups. I didn't know anything about Goldman Sachs. I didn't know anything about SBA and all of those things starting out. It was very hard for me to navigate this space of entrepreneurship. And the fact that I was able to navigate the space it was really God, I'm just going to say, because and when I started this, I had no idea of what I was doing. None whatsoever. All I know is that I wanted to be successful. I knew that I'd be successful with my educational background because, I mean, that's what I was going to school for, to do what I was going to school for and get a job and do the things that I was supposed to do in my background through my education. None of my education helped me to start businesses or run them. It was strictly, what are you supposed to be doing? So when I think about that, I think, a lot of us start out as entrepreneurs by trial and error. But this book is one that will allow you to read through, guide you through and help you navigate some of those thoughts that you are thinking as it pertains to where your struggles are. What is it that you're dealing with that you can't figure out how to move? And how do I get to my next phase and where it is that I need to go as it pertains to my business? So even if you are just thinking about starting a business, it gives you prompts and mindset check-ins for you to be able to sit down and think what it is that you are passionate about, what helps you to, what makes you smile on a day-to-day basis as it pertains to work. If it's something that you're very passionate about, what can you do on a day, all day long, and not have to get paid for it? How can you use that to make money? How can you use that passion to drive the force behind you answering the question of how can I use this to solve somebody else's problem? So I help you to think through that in the first chapter as it pertains to the first chapter is from ideation. And I kind of give you a little bit about me and how I got to the place of starting my entrepreneurial journey. I'll tell you just a short snippet about it. I am a wife and a mother of 4. I was a non-traditional student, meaning that I went to school after high school. I wasn't straight out of high school. I went to a technical college after high school, and then I went to college. But I also had my son and my husband while I was in college, which made me a non-traditional student. I started college at about 20 years old. But throughout my matriculation through college, I ended up having more kids in college. So I had all my kids in college, and my last 2 I had in graduate school. And that's when my journey started. I didn't have the support system or help to get me to take them to have their pictures taken. So I bought a camera, and I started taking their pictures, and I started posting them on Facebook, and lo and behold, people wanted to purchase my pictures, and I figured out how to solve their problems. I was a mobile photographer. I would go out to their homes. We would do on location photography sessions. I would have, rent places to do photography sessions. I was that person that could give you that individual time that you wanted, and I wasn't really well versed in the idea of packages, so my pictures were not that expensive, and you got a lot of them to kind of versus going to this photography studio and spending an arm and a leg on getting 5 or 6 picture poses, whereas you got maybe 5 to 6 or 10 maybe for that matter in regards to my packages. So you probably got a whole lot more from me. So that was the start of my journey, and from there I opened another business, and from there, but I also use God in the midst of this, because none of these things happen because of something that I set forth to do. I do believe that God played a role in all of my businesses, and that's why I'm here. And that brings me back to why this book exists. I also do business coaching, The CEO Speaks. And in my business coaching, I realized that a lot of times people need coaches and they need somebody to help guide them, but they don't have the money to actually pay somebody on an hourly basis or buy a package to actually sit with them and for someone to actually hold their hands as it pertains to guiding them through the steps of entrepreneurship. So here goes my book, Breaking the Code to Business Success. This book is not a book that I think you should sit down and read. I mean, if it's something that you want to sit down and read, I wouldn't say you couldn't, but it's a guide. It starts you from beginning to end on the process of starting your business, scaling your business, and doing the things that you need in your business to make sure that you are making the money that you need to make. It gives you resources in the appendix as to how you can apply for grants, how you can find growth groups in your area, how you can it's a wealth of information. I mean, it's just a lot, and it's actually in every chapter. I give you a prayer, I give you a prompt, I give you a mindset check-in, and I want you to sit with those prompts, those mindset check-ins, and those prayers, because if you are on the entrepreneurial journey, you have to have a higher power. I don't care who it is, what it is, or whatever the case may be. Your higher power is what guides you and gets you where you're to your next. You have to believe in something more than who you are, and you can't think that this is something that you've done by yourself, because when the stars align, they just align, and this isn't luck. This isn't just you getting up one day and saying, hey, this is something that I'm gonna do. This isn't just you getting up and being and not being proactive in regards to your steps being ordained in regards to what it is you're supposed to be doing in that moment. So I hope I have given you lots of information on my book. The link is in my description box. I hope that you, if you stuck around this long, that you subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you again in my next live, because I will be talking about the coaching workbook and the journal later on today. Have a great day.